Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Silent Hill 3. First things first, I think it has been a couple of updates without the radio on, so I figure why don't we just go ahead and turn that on for at least an update. And if you remember from last time, Heather got a bit derailed on her way back home. It appears that the subway was full of insane cancers and other grisly abominations, and well, she kind of got trapped on a subway car that dropped her off on what the save file actually calls unknown platform. So let's see if we can't figure out where we are. Looks normal enough. Alright, so it doesn't look that normal. But yeah, this particular visual effect is not something you will be seeing on your initial playthrough. This is actually something that occurs whenever you play a New Game Plus. I'm actually playing a different save file than before. But this is actually, I think this is a rather nice visual effect, especially in the dark. Nice, creepy, crawly, veiny walls. But, I hate to break it to you, but for some odd reason, this is pretty much the only place this visual effect will occur. Well, this and the next hallway. So I figured I would at least show it off when I had the chance. Yeah, note to self, do not fight pendulums with melee weapons. Even on the ground, they are still a massive pain in the ass to try to hit with your melee. Now, I kind of thought somewhere among all these veiny bullshit down here that there might have been a door, but I guess there is only that one door that we passed earlier, so let's just juke our way down to it. Took a little bit of damage there, but thankfully we are still actually doing very well on supplies right now. And that's mostly due to dodging as much combat as possible. But that's not to say we can't indulge ourselves. But yeah, as Glacius did ask in the thread, we can actually hit enemies on the ground that have been down with our overhand swing with the pipe. And I can't honestly stress enough, really honestly, in all sincerity, don't try to fight more than one enemy at one time. It just does not work. Let's see, what do we have in this room? Well, on these shelves over here, we have nothing of use. And a repetition of what we just found out on that previous shelves. But there is a very nice new item in this room. I I guess we went to the Ren Fair because we now have a huge medieval weapon known as a maul. Also, we have the map for the area. And rather confusingly, this area is called the Underpass rather than sewer or filler. But yeah, as we can see, it's not too large of an area. It has a pretty straight path, so there's not really any way to get lost. And it looks like we're going to head over there to the right. But yeah, it's a pretty straight path. Some of that great heather instinct. But since we do have a new weapon, and I know you're all dying to see it, might as well put on the maul and give it a go. The maul actually has some similarities to how the, I think it was the Great Knife, acted from Silent Hill 2. It is very large, very cumbersome, and actually, in all sincerity, it's not that powerful. Well, at least not as powerful as the Great Knife was, as we'll see in just a second. So let's try it out on a numbody real quick. So, as you can tell, quite a bit of power, but the fact that it is incredibly slow and doesn't really stun lock the enemies pretty much makes it massively inferior to the pipe. I mean, if you have enough room to dodge and you are more skilled than I am, maybe you have more use out of it, but personally, I just don't use it that much. Especially since it does slow you down quite a bit. But down this little corridor we have some more beef jerky and what appears to be a rack of wine. Amazingly though, Heather decides to be a good teenager since apparently she is 17, so she is not of legal drinking age, and decides instead just to take an empty wine bottle. And you want to make sure and check down here because you will find some shotgun shells. And as we continue through the course of the game, you'll find that you really do want to get as many of these shotgun shell pickups as you possibly can. They are very few and far between. really just love the sound work and sound effects they do in this particular overall area. I mean, besides the visual sense of claustrophobia and darkness, there's just so many interesting sound effects everywhere. Also, I get the feeling in some of the more closed and narrow hallways that they are trying to make a vague allusion to the film Session 9. For those of you who have not seen it, yet again I say, just put in the effort, go see it. It's a pretty good film. But for those of you who have seen it, there were a few scenes involving a very narrow hallway, a set of lights, and some pretty frightening darkness. Now, you do want to be careful while exploring through particular areas of Silent Hill 3 because there are some rooms that have absolutely no purpose other than to surround you with a bunch of very annoying enemies. This particular room has nothing except two pendulums and a very large numb body, so it's best just to avoid that room if at all possible. Also, it may be a bit hard to see, but there's a very hard to see couple of health drinks there. I want to make sure and pick those up. And we got a save point, has some dialogue for us, possibly revealing some of Heather's mysterious past. And yet another mention of an altar. Still no idea what that might be referring to. But another thing that draws Heather's attention is this old type of space heater running off kerosene. And as she makes mention, well, she could possibly take some kerosene with her if she had a container. And what would make a good makeshift container is that empty wine bottle we picked up earlier. We got a lot more heavy machinery in here that Heather has absolutely no idea what it does. But we also have a rather open hole. But there is one problem. The hole is full of dirty water. And thankfully we don't have to do any god-awful swimming sections, because I can only imagine the kind of horrible tentacle-filled enemies they would have waiting for us, and they would try to make us have some kind of combat down there. It would be awful. But it does look like there is a piece of machinery here that Heather does have some way to identify. Sadly, it seems that it doesn't seem to be working. But it does appear that there is a fuel tank. And, well, if you remember from a couple seconds ago, we now have fuel to put into the hoist. Or the magical machine that will help us continue through the game. Yes, and a very calm, scenic river, or a piss-filled reservoir, however you wish to look at it. But from the surface tunnels down to the sewer proper, well, it's actually pretty devoid of anything. Well, except for one very annoying large numbody. Yeah, it can be incredibly frustrating when that stun lock just does not go off and you get kind of an unfair smack in the face. But thankfully there's actually no more enemies in the general vicinity. Just the soft pitter-patter of rancid water raining down upon us. Yep, just a lovely, calm, empty river of piss. Well, from the looks of it, yep, this seems to be some area where garbage is sorted out of the water, or the sewage, so that possibly it doesn't cause any unnecessary pollution or clogging of the pipes. But there are actually a few non-trash items in here, such as a ampule, very nice healing item, And something else that draws Heather's attention, a hairdryer. A bit of an odd thing to focus on considering all the other trash in the room, but whatever. Something seems different though. I'm sure it's nothing. Actually, it's a rather interesting notion, the fact that the save points, or the save symbols, actually cause the protagonist headaches because they are trying to remember something and yet their brain is blocking them from remembering it. But it looks like there used to be a sign on this door, and it seemed to be a warning to whomever may have come through here that there may be danger ahead. Honestly, though, there's been danger behind us, there's been danger above us, and there's been danger below us, so I guess we're just going to fare the weather and hope for whatever caused this bloody mess isn't anywhere nearby. Jeez. I don't see anything. I guess it's safe. Nope, it's not safe. Say hello to the game over screen, and probably the only time you'll ever be seeing it. I just wanted to show off the game trying to be a complete dick by killing you in a very sneaky instant death trap. But what we need to do is walk over to the side here, and we'll notice that something is grabbing Heather's attention. And by investigating, we find out it's a power outlet. And through guessing, since we have no other items to work with, we're going to have to assume we're going to have to use the hairdryer. Logic puzzle. But yeah, if we try to investigate the tentacle of the water, it asks us if we want to drop our steel pipe into the pool. Sure. Oh. Alright, I guess we can't throw it in while we have it equipped, so let's give that another college try.
What was it that you dropped? Was it this precious gold pipe?
Well, no. we didn't drop a gold pipe, and I guess we should be honest.
Well then, was it this magnificent silver pipe?
No, I mean, it was a silverish color, but I think it was steel. Definitely wasn't magnificent.
Perhaps it was only this filthy steel pipe that you dropped.
Well, it doesn't have to be filthy, but it was steel.
I have finally found a truly honest man. In return, I will give you both the gold pipe and the silver pipe to keep.
Oh, alright. I guess we got some new weapons. Let's take a look at them. First we have the silver pipe. It's good against vampires and werewolves, but there's none in the game. And the gold is, well, it's gold colored. But yeah, these are just special little Easter eggs. They are the exact same as our steel pipe. They have absolutely no difference except for a visual look. So if you wanted to, you could have a nice little gold pipe or a silver pipe. And if for those of you who might not realize it, that was actually a reference to Legend of Zelda, for the times when you could drop items into a fountain and a fairy would come out. But in a sick, twisted joke, instead of a nice, clean fountain, we get poo water. But at least we get some nice, new, shiny pipes. And just taking a quick look at well, don't have many other places to go. It looks like there's just that one door, so it looks like we're actually almost done with the underpass. And for those of you who are wondering, no, the water is not deadly, and it actually allows us a nice little quick shortcut. What are we doing? Oh, they're attacking me. Run. But yeah, like I said, very lovely and wonderful sound work in this entire area. Also very, well, I don't want to say pleasant, but well-used sense of doom and gloom and claustrophobia throughout. I do feel a bit bummed out they didn't use that veiny effect more. It seemed like there are plenty of places to use it. But actually on hard mode, that veiny effect will actually hurt and kill you if you stay in the areas for too long, so I guess it's for the best if you are playing on hard. But out of the underpass we find ourselves... where the hell are we now? Looks like we're next to some very large building, and well, I'm assuming the curtains are supposed to allude to some type of construction going on. But before we head inside, I think this is a good stopping point for the video, because we do have a save point over here. It has some dialogue. But with that, I'll hope you join me next time as we continue inside the building.